Hey folks, everything new under the sun. You're looking at a map of Ukraine and, of course, Russia beside it. And the marker here is Donetsk. This is a Ukrainian city. And I bring that up because I want to tell you about a movie that was made in 1990. Very interesting. And does it look like it could have been basically telling the history of what happened in Ukraine today? It could have. So that's Donetsk in Ukraine, and of course, Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union prior. Now, there's this video. This is in by dawn's early light 1990. Now, this is again an old-fashioned movie on YouTube. You can find it. But what is the story of this? Well, this is interesting. It says in the late 1980s, a group of dissident officials in the Soviet Union had grown afraid of losing power as relations improve with the United States. Hoping to oust the Soviet president, they steal a nuclear missile and launch it at the Soviet city of Donetsk. So there's this is basically a false flag that where they shoot a nuclear missile at the Ukrainian city of Donetsk from a site in NATO member Turkey. So it's from a NATO member Turkey. So you look at the situation here. We have NATO, we have Russia, we have the situation where if anybody on any side makes a mistake, it's a full out nuclear war. Both sides know it. And this video happens to have basically people in the middle who are worried about losing the war or not holding on to power, and they use a nuclear weapon in Donetsk, which again is in the modern day Ukraine. The Soviet automated defense systems, believing a NATO attack is in progress, execute a measured launch of intercontinental ballistic missiles. As the stolen missile detonates over Donetsk in Ukraine and destroys the city, the Strategic Air Command scrambles its forces. The Strategic Air Command Commander General Renning urges the President of the United States to authorize a full counterattack. And anyways, basically nuclear weapons go off in the United States and in Russia, in both sides. Very interesting to see this. And I think what is most interesting is that a nuclear weapon, a false flag attack happens in a Ukrainian city in Donetsk, and that's exactly what Russia has been saying is going to occur in Ukraine. They're suggesting that Ukraine is going to use some kind of a nuclear weapon or dirty bomb and blame it on the Russians. So the exact plot, really, of this this movie here from 1990 by Dawn's Early Light, it's really mirroring what is in the current news. And it's a startling movie, to be honest. You watch it, it's incredible. There's fighting on both sides, and they almost annihilate, the whole planet, if you will, with nuclear weapons. Very, very interesting. And I guess I'll leave it there, but check that one out. This is War News 247. Nightmare in Kiev and White House. China rejected the U.S. ultimatum. Arms deliveries to Russia begin. So not only did they warn about China getting involved, now apparently arms are moving. China rejected U.S. pressure and ultimatum and begins deliveries of weapons to Russia. This means World War III is basically NATO against Russia and China. This is happening on our watch. This is happening before our eyes. And I'll tell you a quick interesting story. I was commenting on a friend of mine back and forth about this, and I said, "Are you ready for World War III?" And he commented back to me, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Are you watching the news between NATO and Ukraine, Russia?" And he says, "Oh no, I don't listen. I don't watch the news. It's all bad news." And my mind was blown. There are people who not only aren't paying attention, but do not want to pay attention to what is happening around the world. And when stuff goes sideways, they will not be prepared. They will be scrambling. They will be coming after all the preppers who have prepared, all those who saw this coming and knew that the Bible said this was going to come. Incredible to me that people are not paying attention to this stuff. This is jpost.com, Jerusalem Post. U.S. considers release of intelligence on China's potential arms transfer to Russia. So they have intelligence. They're looking at releasing it. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't make any difference at this point. But does it help? Does it cause the situation to get better or worse when they release this sort of intel? But I think to their advantage, to the United States' advantage, I don't think any of the civilians, you or I, for most of the public, is not paying attention to any of this. Here is Elon Musk. This is RT, Russia Today. This is Russia website. There's propaganda. There's propaganda on every website. By the way, you should be watching both sides, liberal, conservative sides, international websites, and the truth is always somewhere in between all these sides. But Musk himself is accusing top U.S. officials of pushing war in Ukraine. Remember, there's no interest by anybody to create peace. Had you heard Biden come out and call day after day for peace, for negotiations? No, they don't. They want war. They're making a lot of money off war. Here's a tweet by Jordan Peterson. WTF POTUS, Russian state TV, says U.S. has declared war after Crimean comments, it says. And Elon says, nobody is pushing war more than Nuland. So it's incredible, and people in the U.S. are speaking about it, but most people aren't paying attention. And, it goes on to speak about, again, Donetsk, Lugansk, and the situation there. And so it's incredible. Is anybody paying attention? Most people are sticking their heads in the sand and saying, I don't want to hear this, la, 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 la. This is depressing. But this is what happened. This is what was happening prior to World War II. People were sticking their heads in the sand until war broke out. And then they had to deal with it. But World War III will be much, much worse than World War II. World War II, most people in North America didn't really feel the pain, other than maybe their sons or daughters going off to war, whatever it may be. But in World War III, North America absolutely will be feeling the pain. All around the world will be feeling the pain because of nuclear weapons. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be shock and awe like no one has ever seen. And you need to get prepared for this. I think this is coming. I think it gets so bad where people are so desperate that they will accept any world leader and anything that he says as long as he promises peace and an end to the famine and a new economic system, because everything will be crashed by then. And so everybody will be so desperate, they will say, yes, please, we'll take any savior to get us out of this mess. This is another War News 247. Closer to a new front, Ukrainians are preparing an attack on Transnistria. And this is a breakaway region of Moldova. The Kiev regime is preparing an armed provocation against Transnistria. And so this is the main part of this is because there's a massive weapons depot. If you've been watching Canadian Prepper, there's a massive weapons depot there down by Moldova. I think I got rid of the map. No, there it is. So here is Moldova. And if we zoom in, there's a breakaway region, Transnistria, all on the eastern flank of Moldova. You can't see my pointer, but it is in here. And all up the eastern side there of Moldova is Transnistria. So both sides are, saying that the other side is going to take it or something. Currently, Russia is saying that Ukraine is getting ready to basically take over Transnistria, basically for that arms depot. There's a lot of ammunition there, and there's coups on the leadership of Moldova being threatened and planned, etc. And so, folks. Things are heating up there, and whoever gets that weapons depot, there's going to be a lot of flare-up there, massive flare-up in Moldova, whomever gets that. And it may be that, if Russia thinks that Ukraine is going to shortly take it, they may just go and take that out with missiles so that Ukraine doesn't get all the ammunition there. On the other side of things, Russia may send in a force and try and take that area, take that land as well. So this is playing out as we speak. So, folks, be prepared. This is an interesting video again about Donetsk, Ukraine, where a nuclear weapon is used to basically goad both sides into fighting, U.S. and Russia, and they almost succeed in complete global annihilation because of a false flag, a nuclear weapon used in Donetsk, Ukraine. And it's just incredible to me. From 1990, that particular movie was created. So I gotta say, folks, you need to be prepared. We are close to World War III. It could simmer down, but it doesn't look like it's simmering down. It doesn't look like any side is interested in peace right now. What happened in World War II? Well, 2 nuclear weapons were deployed before Japan decided that's it. We've had enough. We don't want to continue this anymore. So if nuclear weapons were needed to bring an end to World War II, what do you think is going to be needed to bring an end to World War III? Do you think everybody will get together, shake hands, and say we're sorry and back off? No, that's not what history tells us. What history tells us is someone uses the big weapons and the opposite party then waves the white flag. So be prepared, folks. We're living in the last days. The Lord is going to return, but hard times are coming first. Thanks for watching. We'll leave it there. We'll see you in the next video.